Think you're good with your credit card? Most people are making at least one of these 7 mistakes when it comes to using their credit cards. And with credit card rates at the highest they've been in decades, making at least one of these mistakes will cost you hundreds. Thanks for tuning in to Sisters for Financial Independence. My name is Catherine Agabjan, and here at Sisters for Fi, I share money lessons to help you manage your money better so that you have more to live, give, and pass on to the next generation. Credit cards can help you build a strong financial future. But if you are not using it properly, it can cause a lot of stress and anxiety. So I want to go over some of the biggest mistakes most people are making with their credit cards so you can avoid them and set yourself up financially for a better future. One of the most pervading myths out there when it comes to credit card use is that you need to carry a balance in order to build or improve your credit. I'm going to debunk this myth right now. You do not need to carry a balance to build or improve your credit. Your 2 primary goals when you're using a credit card is to pay the balance in full and always to pay it on time. Carrying credit card balance is costly. Right now, we are at the highest we've been when it comes to credit card interest rates, and we will likely remain at this range for a longer period of time. Many people have interest rates on their credit cards between 20 to 30%. That's money going to interest alone, not to the fun stuff, not to the extras that you're buying, but just to interest alone. We have come to normalize credit card use, and using your credit card can be a great tool to help you build credit, help you understand how credit works, as well as put you in a good financial position tomorrow. But carrying credit card debt puts you in a bind. It adds anxiety and stress to your daily life. You can use credit cards without going into debt. Budget accordingly and make sure you are only spending the money that you have. Credit cards do not offer you free money. You have to pay back anything that you borrow. So carrying a balance on your credit card is something that you must avoid. Mistake number 2 that you are going to avoid when it comes to credit card use is the trap of the minimum payment. Now, when you receive your credit card statement from your credit card company, they will highlight and make it in bold the minimum payment. What the credit card companies have done is they have used what's called anchoring bias and anchored you to a low dollar amount. This makes it seem like your credit card spending isn't so bad. This makes it seem like you can continue to use your credit cards. But it doesn't give you the full picture of the entire balance of your credit card. And when you only pay the minimum payment on your credit card, it now means you start carrying a balance, and a balance will mean paying interest. Paying only the minimum payment will ensure you stay in that debt cycle for a longer period of time. When you only pay the minimum payment, it also means that you likely are only paying interest on your balance. You're not even paying off the principal. And that means that anything that you've bought, whether you bought something on sale, whether you get out and go get a burrito, has now cost you extra because of the interest rate. So be careful with the minimum balance payment trap. Instead, make sure, again, you budget accordingly, set up autopay, and set it up so that it pays the full statement balance of your credit card. Now, many of us actually, unfortunately, do not understand how credit card interest works and how the billing cycle works. I am going to point you to these 2 videos right here so you know exactly how the billing cycle works and how interest is calculated. That way you can make the right decision when it comes to using your credit cards. Mistake number 3 that you are going to avoid when it comes to credit card use is overspending due to credit card rewards. Now, credit card rewards have a place in your financial decision making, and credit card hacking has been very popular right now. They can allow you to go to places you never thought you could. They can allow you to some upgrades and live that fancy lifestyle. But there is a trap to this, and you need to be careful about overspending just to get those rewards. You actually need to do some math to make sure that it adds up for you. Credit cards love to advertise and tout all of the bonuses, points, and cash back that you can get with their credit cards. But you absolutely have to make sure that you are doing the bonus and credit hacking properly. If you carry a balance on your credit card in order to get rewards or points, you are already losing. The math will never add up if you carry a balance at 25% interest rate and get 2% cash back. No upgrade and no bonus points will make sense for that exchange. And when it comes to these credit rewards, keep in mind that the banks will always win in this case. So you want to assess your use of your credit cards and make sure you are not overspending to get those rewards. And I think you also need to understand the truth. When you get these free travel bonuses or cash back, someone else is paying for that. It's not you, it's going to be the people that are carrying a balance. So if you are carrying a balance, you are paying for someone else's free trip. Look closely at the reward structure of your credit cards and use that as a bonus, not as an excuse to spend more money. This video is brought to you by my new ebook, Smart Start. We talk about your first money moves after graduation or for any young adult who are just entering the workforce. We go through the basic personal finance, the accounts you'll want to create the minute you get out of school, as well as all of the other advice and tips I wish I received when I was a young adult. Now, of course, all of this stuff is everywhere on the internet. The point of this book is to give you clarity on what you need to do. You can consume as much TikTok content as you want, but you need to be taking action. You need to actually open that investment account, open that high yield savings account, and start funding it. If you're interested in the basics of money foundations, pick up this book off of Amazon. I will link it in the description for you to check out. Mistake number 4 that you are going to avoid when it comes to credit card use is to max out your credit card. Now, it can be tempting to get a new credit card, see the credit limit, and think that you can spend that much money. But your credit card limit is not a sign for you to be overspending. In fact, it's actually not good if you max out your credit cards because it has other effects down the line. One of the main things you need to understand when it comes to credit card use is the concept called credit utilization, which means the ratio of available credit that you have and how much of it you are using. The credit utilization affects your credit score, which has an impact on future borrowing. So you'll want to be careful about maxing out your credit cards. For example, if you have 2 cards and the credit limit across both of the cards total $1,000 and you have spent $800 across those 2 cards, your credit utilization is at 80%. Now your credit score is going to be dinged by this because you are basically using most of your credit. One of the things you have to understand when you're playing the credit game is to really understand the rules and what impacts your credit history and your credit score. The recommended guideline when it comes to credit utilization is to keep everything under 30%. Even better if you can keep that under 10%, because that signals to the credit card companies that you can handle your borrowing well. Mistake number 5 when it comes to credit card use are late payments. Now, I get it. We are all busy. We have so much on our schedule and things can fall through the cracks. But when you miss a payment on your credit card bill, you get dinged in multiple ways. the first thing the credit card companies will do is charge you a late payment fee. That's money that you're basically throwing away. The second is that because you have missed your payment, you are now starting to carry a balance and interest is going to start accruing. The third thing is that it can ding your credit score because one of the key components of your credit score are on-time payments. So when you miss a payment, you now have added a negative mark on your credit history and your credit score. And lastly, because it does impact your credit score, it might also mean in the future you will have higher interest rates, which means more money that you'll have to pay when you carry a balance. To prevent these late payments, make sure you set up auto pay and make sure you set it up so that it pays the full balance and it ensures you pay your credit card bill on time as the months go on. This can be a huge time saver for you, and it can really continue to help you build those good habits when it comes to using your credit card. If you do miss a payment with your credit card company, don't be afraid to call them and ask to see if you can get the late payment fee waived and indicate to them that you have paid the entire balance of your card. Most often, if this is your first late payment, the credit card company will waive that fee and they will also not send your missed payment to the credit bureaus. But make sure you call them immediately so that you can admit your mistake and get that fee waived and ensure that you have good habits moving forward. If this video has been helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. And subscribe to Sisters for Fi for more money content to help you manage your money better so that you have more to give, live, and pass on to the next generation. And let me know in the comments which one of these mistakes you wish you avoided sooner. Mistake number 6 is taking out a cash advance. Now, I am going to readily admit to you that this is one of the biggest mistakes I made when I got my first credit card in my early 20s. I went to the ATM and used it as if it was my personal checking and savings account. Instead, I was taking out money from my credit cards. And thinking about that now makes me nauseous because I didn't know that cash advances actually cost more. They cost more in interest, and the minute you take out that cash, interest starts accumulating. There is no grace period, and normally interest rates on cash advances are more than your regular purchases. If you've never heard of a cash advance from your credit card, then I don't even want you to know that this option exists. So please learn from me. Explore other options when you need cash and do not use your credit cards for cash advances. Mistake number 7 when it comes to credit card use is not reading the fine print. Now, normally when you receive your first credit card, you will receive a bunch of documents. And one of these documents is your agreement with the credit card company. And it lays out all of the information about your credit card, about the fees they will charge, about so many of these other things. And it's super important that you read the fine print. It's not going to be fun reading. It's not going to be easy reading because sometimes they really give you this document in really tiny font. But it can be one of the most important documents you read because it can help you understand how your credit cards work and how you can use it to your advantage and avoid costly mistakes. By knowing all of the ins and outs of your credit card, you can understand the benefits that you can take advantage of. You can also avoid some of the costly fees. Some of your credit cards might have annual fees. They might have foreign transaction fees. They might have late payment fees. And some of them might also have a lower introductory interest rate that expires 6 to 12 months. So you want to be aware of this so you can plan and use your credit card in a manner that is to your advantage so that you are winning against the credit card game. When it comes to signing up for your first credit card, make sure you read the terms and make sure you pick a card that works with your spending habits, not the one with the flashiest rewards. Credit cards aren't bad, but they have been designed to get you to spend. So you need to understand your spending habits, and you need to understand how credit cards truly work. And you need to make sure you avoid these 7 mistakes so you don't cost yourself more money in the end. Thank you so much for tuning in to Sisters for Fi. I'm going to leave you with these 2 videos to help you with your spending, as well as help you with some credit card usage if you're already in credit card debt. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.